Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Bold and Beautiful today. So I was thinking about this situation with Electra and RJ. Also Will and Dylan. The question is, who cheats first? Is it Electra with RJ? Is it Will with Dylan? I really want to know what happens with Electra and RJ. Also what Will does with Dylan. Electra Forrester with RJ Forrester. Will Spencer with Dylan. This Electra Forrester and RJ Forrester and Will Spencer and Dylan storyline is really interesting. The people who make the Bold and the Beautiful are creating a love story with 4 people in it. It all started when Will Spencer found out that Dylan was living in her car. So Will Spencer gave Dylan a place to stay. Now Dylan is trying to get a job at Forrester Creations. If Dylan gets the job at Forrester Creations, she will spend time with Will Spencer and get to know him better. Dylan is going to keep acting like she's not a problem for Will and Electra's relationship. Electra is still going to have some doubts about this. These doubts might make Electra want to be with another man. That man is RJ. Electra and RJ seemed to like each other when we first saw them together. RJ even said something about keeping Electra's heart safe when he took off her necklace. It seems clear that the show wants RJ and Electra to be together. The question is, will this happen before or after Electra and Will break up? RJ and Electra have a chemistry that is hard to ignore. Electra and RJ being paired up is something that a lot of people can see happening. The big question is, when will RJ and Electra actually get together? Electra is going to get really worried that Dylan is trying to get with Will. This could make things more complicated with everyone's relationships. I can see Electra walking in on something that looks bad. It is really not what it seems. Will might not be doing anything at all. Electra might see this, run off without talking to Will about it. She could go to RJ for comfort. They might end up kissing or even sleeping together. Electra might feel bad about what she did if she finds out that things were not what they seemed with Will and Dylan. Electra and the others are going to have a lot of problems. Maybe someone will just cheat on their partner. That will make everything worse. Electra and her relationships with Will and RJ are going to be a mess. The Spencer men have a history of being indecisive, so it is possible that Will could give in to temptation with Dylan. The same thing applies to Electra, who is clearly drawn to RJ. Since RJ is likely to go after Electra and try to win her over from Will, the Spencer men and the people around them may find it really tough to deal with. The love situation between these people, Will and Electra and RJ and Dylan, would not be very interesting if nobody did anything to each other. The thing with the Spencer men is that they have wavered in the past, and this could happen again with Will and Electra and the other people involved. It's just a matter of who'll cheat first and launch the next phase of this storyline. So stay tuned for updates on any bad news ahead. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Will, Electra, RJ and Dylan will get all tangled up in some fresh drama. So who cheats first? Is it Electra with RJ or Will with Dylan? The week began with a normal brunch at Forrester Creations. Electra was being her daring self. She laughed at RJ's jokes a bit much. People turned to look at her because she was laughing loudly. Will did not notice at first. He just sat there drinking his coffee and smiling. But he was not really smiling. It was fake. Everyone else could see that something was going on between Electra and RJ. You could feel the tension between them. It was like the air was charged with electricity. Electra and RJ had a spark that you could not miss. Will was with Dylan. He was also watching Electra and RJ. RJ is a guy who always has a way about him. He does not care what people think of him. He leaned in close to Electra. His hand touched hers for a second. It was an intimate moment. Ridge was walking by. He stopped. He thought something was wrong. He had a feeling about what was going on at the Forrester house. Brooke is like the mother of the family. She felt it too. She looked closely and whispered to Donna. She said something is off with the Forresters. Something is off with the Forresters. Will was trying to pay attention to his job at Forrester Creations. He could not help how he felt about Dylan. Dylan was spending a lot of time in the studio. He said he was looking at designs. Will noticed that Dylan looked at him a lot. When Dylan pointed at one of Will's sketches, his hand touched Will's hand. This made Will feel funny. He started to wonder about the promises he made to himself. He thought about what was right and wrong. Now Will is not sure if he just likes Dylan as a friend or if he likes him in a way. This is a problem for Will. People who watch them want to know what will happen next. They want to know if Will or Dylan will give in to their feelings first. They also want to know if one of them will get hurt. Electra, who has always had a way of flirting, found herself in a big mess of emotions as she tried to resist RJ, but every time they looked at each other, every time their fingers touched, it was like a fire was starting. She did not know how to put it out. RJ seemed to know exactly what was happening. He whispered something to Electra that was very quiet but meant a lot, and Electra felt like the whole world was spinning around her. She could not even breathe. She thought about what people would say, all the gossip and trouble that would come from being with RJ. She could not help how she felt. It was like her heart was telling her to take a chance to break all the rules she had always followed. Even the building where she worked, Forrester Creations, seemed to be watching her like it knew something big was about to happen. Across town, Will was going through something. He was feeling things for his friend Dylan that he had never felt before, and it was all very confusing. The time they spent together, the more they looked at each other, touched each other, and smiled, it was like they were sharing a secret. Will tried to fight it, but he could not help himself. He was drawn to Dylan, and when he got close to him, his heart started racing. It was like he was in danger. He could not look away. All of a sudden, Will did not know what was right or wrong anymore. All he knew was that he wanted Dylan, and that made him feel very guilty. It was like he was losing himself. People watching this were on the edge of their seats. They were screaming at the screen, wondering what would happen next, and the big question was, will Dylan be the first ones to cross the line, or will it be Electra and RJ who start something big that can hurt a lot of people and not just their feelings? The question is, will Dylan cross the line first? The drama got really bad as people had meetings in hidden corners, made private phone calls, and bumped into each other in hallways. This created a lot of tension that was hard to deal with. As the week went on, things got even worse. Brooke and Ridge got pulled into the mess without wanting to be. They have pasts, which made things even more tense. They tried to calm everyone down. They could not do it. Donna watched everything with a mix of worry and interest. She thought the situation would get out of hand soon. In the world of the Forresters, love and loyalty are not simple. A small problem can cause trouble that nobody is ready for. Meanwhile, Electra and RJ's secret moments together got bolder. They had a connection whether they touched while looking at a fashion sketch or bumped into each other in the elevator. Each time they met, they got closer to doing something they should not do. Dylan's connection also got stronger when they were alone. They had a lot of tension between them that they could not talk about. Each time they looked at each other, they wondered what might happen if they did something. The tension got really bad at a gala hosted by Forrester Creations. Electra, RJ, Will and Dylan were all in the room. The air was thick with things that were not said, awkward smiles and brief touches. You could almost hear everyone gasp as the tension built up. It was like lightning was about to strike. The moment when something big would happen was getting closer. People were changing sides, secrets were about to come out. Hearts were about to get broken. The week ended with a surprise that left everyone breathless. Electra leaned in close to RJ. Their hands touched with a spark. At the time, Will felt Dylan looking at him in a way that made his heart beat fast and his mind race. The screen went black just as both pairs were about to do something they could not take back. This left fans over the world talking online about who would cheat first. Something big is going to happen at Forrester Creations. Forrester Creations is a place where people usually trust each other. Now someone is going to do something bad and break that trust at Forrester Creations. This will cause a problem at Forrester Creations. The problem will be so big that it will change everything at Forrester Creations forever. And as the credits rolled, the message was clear. In the glamorous, treacherous, and endlessly dramatic world of the bold and the beautiful, no heart is safe, no desire is forbidden, and the line between love and betrayal is thinner than ever, proving once again that in this iconic saga, every glance, every touch, and every whispered word can set off a chain reaction that no one, not even the most steadfast of Forrester heirs, can resist. Because when it comes to Electra and RJ, or Will and Dylan, the question isn't just who cheats first, it's whether anyone will ever emerge unscathed from the emotional whirlwind that is the Forrester family. A question that fans will be talking about for weeks, months, maybe even years to come, as the drama, the passion, and the heartbreak continue to unfold in a story that is as scandalous as it is irresistible, leaving the world collectively gasping, screaming, and clutching their seats in anticipation of the next explosive chapter in the lives of Electra, RJ, Will, and Dylan. because in Los Angeles, and especially at Forrester Creations, love is a battlefield, and betrayal is always just one heartbeat away, making this week's saga perhaps the most intense, most shocking, and most talked about storyline in the history of The Bold and the Beautiful, and the drama shows no signs of slowing down, because when desire clashes with loyalty, when temptation challenges morality, and when hearts are pushed to their limits, the only certainty is chaos, leaving fans eagerly awaiting the next episode to find out exactly who crosses the line first and how the fallout will ripple through the Forrester dynasty, proving once again that in this world of high fashion, high stakes, and high emotions, nothing, and absolutely no one, is safe. Electra came home after a long day that was very tiring. She was thinking about how crazy her life had been. When she walked through the door, she was not ready for what she saw. It was a shock. Will was with Dylan. He is the man Electra trusted. She thought she knew Will well. Now Will was holding Dylan in a way that was very intimate and loving. This made Electra feel bad in her chest. She could not see clearly because she did not believe what she was seeing. Electra thought about Will. How he was with Dylan. This was very surprising to Electra. She did not expect to see Will and Dylan like that. She stopped moving her hand on the door handle, her heart beating really fast in her chest. She was trying to understand what she was seeing. It was a weird scene. Will's face was pressed into Dylan's shoulder. Dylan had his arms wrapped tightly around Will. They both looked completely comfortable with each other. It was a kind of comfort that they should not have been showing each other. At least not like this. Will. Dylan looked vulnerable, and that was not something she expected to see between Will and Dylan. Electra's mind was over the place. She felt many things at the same time. There was the feeling of being betrayed. She was confused too. Her heart was breaking. She really needed to know why this was happening. Electra had always thought that Will was a guy. She thought he was always there, for her. Now she finds out that he did something with Dylan. Dylan is her friend. This makes Electra feel terrible. It feels like someone is twisting a knife in her heart. Electra thinks about Will and Dylan together. It hurts her so much. She cannot understand why Will would do this to her. Electra keeps thinking about Will and how much he hurt her. Her body felt like it was on fire. Every single nerve was telling her to get out of there, to yell for help, to ask what was going on. But her feet would not move, they were stuck to the ground. It was like her body was waiting for her to really understand what she was seeing, to take it all in. She had to see the thing, every single part of it, before she could do anything. Her body was making her stand there frozen until she got the picture of what was happening with the thing that was right in front of her, the thing that was so shocking, the thing that she was witnessing. Then Will slowly lifted his head. His eyes locked with Electra's eyes. In that moment, Will's face showed a lot of horror and guilt and panic. This made Electra think about all the things she had been trying not to think about. She realized this was not a friendly hug. It was something. Will had feelings for someone. Electra had not been a part of these feelings. This was a secret that had been growing behind Electra's back. Electra's fingers were shaking as she held the doorknob really tight. Her nails were digging into her palms. It hurt. The Will she loved, the Will she thought she knew, had done something that made her feel so bad. He did not do anything mean to her face. He had a special connection with someone else, a connection that Electra did not know about. This was what hurt Electra the most, that the Will she loved could keep something like this from her. She was trying to understand how the Will she loved could do this to her, how he could be so close to someone without telling her. Dylan saw Electra. He pulled back a little. His eyes were wide with shock. He felt a bit ashamed. He realized that Electra had seen them being close. Electra was his friend, the woman who always supported him. Now she knew a secret that could change everything between them. This secret could hurt the balance of their lives, which were closely connected to each other. Dylan was worried that this could affect his relationship with Electra. Electra's voice was really shaking when she finally said something. It was a whisper. She sounded like she could not believe what was happening. She was getting angry. "What is going on here?" she asked. The words had barely come out of her mouth when Electra realized that this was a hard question to answer. Whatever Will said would make Electra feel a little better or make her feel even worse. The question was about what was going on, and Electra was not sure if she wanted to know the answer. Electra's heart was already. She was afraid that what Will said would hurt her even more. Will's eyes got a little softer. You could see he felt bad about something. He looked like he really wanted to tell Electra what was going on. She did not give him a chance. Electra's feelings just got much to handle. She felt hurt and confused. She could not believe what was happening. "I do not believe this," she said, her voice shaking. She was about to cry. She took a small step forward. Every move she made showed how much she did not understand what was going on. Electra's emotions were over the place and Will's explanation would have to wait. Electra was too busy trying to deal with her feelings. She looked at Will. You could see the hurt in her eyes. Will wanted to talk to Electra. She was not ready to listen. Dylan opened his mouth. Maybe he wanted to tell Electra that this was not a deal, that it was just a moment that would pass, but he could not say anything. The words did not come out. He just looked at Electra. You could see that he felt guilty and helpless. Dylan looked at Electra with guilt and helplessness over his face. Electra's mind was racing ahead, thinking about what could happen. She was thinking about everything that had happened with Will. She was wondering when Will had started to feel this way about Dylan. Had he felt this way for a time? When did he start keeping secrets from her? Electra could not believe she had not seen the signs before. They are really obvious now. Her chest felt tight when she thought about all the time they had spent together. They had talked for hours at night. They had promised to be loyal to each other. They had dreams that they wanted to achieve together. Now all of those things feel ruined because of what Electra found out about Will and Dylan. She felt really upset. Her emotions were all over the place. There was a small part of her that wanted to know what was going on. She wanted to hear the truth from Will. The thought of leaving Will and Dylan alone together was too much for her to handle. "Will, tell me this is not what it looks like," she said. Her voice was shaking. She was scared. She really hoped that things were not as bad as they seemed. She wanted her fears to be wrong. Will took a step forward, slowly trying to get closer to Electra to fix the big gap that had suddenly appeared between them. But Electra jumped back. It was too fast, too close. It hurt her because it reminded her of what she had just seen. Will said, "Electra." But he stopped. He did not know what to say. He wanted to tell her the truth. He knew that nothing could make her feel better after what she had just seen. Dylan was also feeling really uncomfortable. He put his hands by his sides, tried to make himself smaller. He wanted to disappear from Electra's eyes. He knew that what had just happened with him and someone else, even though it was not meant to be bad, now looked like a betrayal to Electra. Electra's mind was. Her heart was beating fast. She was feeling a lot of emotions. She was angry with Will. She was confused about Dylan. She was sad about what was happening to their relationship. She was scared of what might happen because of what she had just seen. She thought about all the time she had talked to Dylan about her feelings. She had trusted him as a friend. She never thought he would be involved with the man she loved. Dylan and the man she loved, this was a lot to take in. Her mind was over the place, thinking about what could have happened. Had Dylan and the man she loved been together for a long time? Did the man she loved really care about Dylan? Was this just something that happened one time? The man she loved and Dylan, she did not know how she could talk to either of them again because she felt hurt and betrayed by what they did. She felt like she could not look at Dylan or the man she loved the way again because of what they had done together. The woman was really. It was hard for her to believe what was happening. She just could not accept that the man she loved could do something bad to her. The man she loved had broken her trust. This was very painful for her. She thought about the times they had together, the times they laughed and talked all night, the things they wanted to do together, and the small sweet things they did for each other. All these things made their relationship special. Now they seemed spoiled because of what the man she loved had done. The man she loved had done something that really shocked her. "Dylan," she said. Her voice was really quiet. She could hardly talk. You could tell she was very sad. Her words were filled with disappointment. Dylan looked down. He felt bad. He knew he had done something. He wanted to say something, maybe say sorry. He did not know what to say. Whatever he said, it would not be enough. Electra was hurting a lot. Dylan knew that. Electra's pain was too much for him to make it better. With a few words, Will stepped closer to her. His eyes were asking her to understand what was going on. He wanted her to see that what he did was not meant to hurt her. It looked like something intimate was happening. That was not what it was. The problem was that Electra had already seen them together. They were very close. That was something that Electra could not forget. The picture of them together